Now, so far we've worked on 2 closing the gap techniques. What we're going to work on next is the defense. And this is a very basic defense. Now, you'll notice in Kempo, a lot of the time, the self-defense techniques are named with these very esoteric names, and sometimes very, let's face facts are fun. Okay, gift of destruction, delayed sword, very cool, very cool. For us, these are sparring techniques. Some of our self-defense techniques also have those same names: blasting ram, thundering hammer, thundering hammer, complete. But you'll notice with our sparring techniques, it's simply a description of what the technique is. And this very first self-defense, or not self-defense, excuse me, sparring defense technique that we're going to work is the defense versus a cross. And it's simply called upper block reverse punch. Now, the origin of this technique is karate. You'll see that many of these techniques are based off of the styles that I've studied, the different type of styles that I fought in competition. When I say fought in competition, fought with in competition. With this very first one, you're going to see this. Most people who are style practitioners are going to recognize it immediately. It's simply an ippon kumite. It is a one-step sparring technique that you'll see in many different styles. A couple of differences, though. One thing you'll notice, it's a defense against a cross. That is what the defense is against. Why? Because a cross is probably one of the most likely techniques you'll see nowadays. It used to be that you needed to defend against a roundhouse punch. Well, this is a sparring technique. And when we're sparring other people who know how to fight, first of all. Second of all, I don't think that the roundhouse haymaker is that common a thing any longer. I think most likely you're going to see much more of the cross technique than you will anything else. The other reason, we do not do this, the step forward. Okay? The step forward and punch like that was originally based on Japanese styles, and there's a lot of history behind that, and a lot of them are encompassing the use of armor. Okay? But in our case, we're simply defending against a cross. If you're throwing a cross, I'm going to defend myself. Now, because this is a white to yellow belt technique, there's almost no footwork in this technique. It's a straight-on technique. And the reason being, at this level, white belts are learning how to block and then counter. That's all they're learning how to do. They're not learning how to throw angles. They're not learning how to riposte. They're not learning how to evade, to defang, to intercept. They're not learning any of that stuff right now. Right now, they're learning what to do is to block and then counter. Now, every defensive technique and every offensive combination always begins and ends in the same position. We're always here in the fighting stance. You'll notice in our self-defense techniques, we start in the natural position because these are techniques that are designed to save your life in an incoming attack, and we don't know where your attack is going to come from. But these are sparring techniques. So they always start and end here. And every once in a while you'll see somebody end with that, and then they'll go, oh, okay, I'm done. You're not done. You're not done till you're back here in your fighting stance. So this one is very simple. He's going to throw a cross on me from my fighting stance. I may have to take a slight step back. I'm talking 2 inches, okay? But I may step back, block, reverse punch to the face, return, and fighting stance again. And that's all there is to it. It's simple. I'll sit here, I'll block, I'll punch, and back to this position. We do not spend our time punching to the chest when we can punch him in the face. Much better idea to punch him in the face and under any circumstances. Okay, so now Henry and I are going to demonstrate to you what it looks like slow. Henry's going to throw the cross. He's going to throw it very slowly at me. I'm going to block. Okay, I'm going to reverse punch right to the tip of the nose. I'm going to return and back to my fighting stance. Okay, one more time slowly. Block, punch, return, and fighting stance. It's very simple. Now, one of the important things to remember, hard blocks are meant to be hard. They are meant to disrupt your opponent's incoming energy, disrupt his balance, and they're meant to take him off the line of attack and open him up further. And that's what we're supposed to do with this punch, or with this block. So when Henry throws his punch, go ahead and throw punch hard. You see what happens to his arm? But my block stays in the same place it would stay when I'm doing kihon. That's the vital thing behind that. So we're here again, he throws, okay, then the punch, then the fighting stance. Okay? So now, this is what it looks like at full speed. Again. And that's how you do it.